What's most tiring about the people with pink and purple hair who keep complaining and saying that there's still a long way to go is that it seems like we'll never get there. No matter how fair you make things for everybody to have an equal playing field, to be able to become whatever they're capable of becoming, it seems like it's never enough. I remember having a very deep and meaningful conversation with an old school. This was going back 15 or so years ago. And on every other subject, she was the nicest person. But when you got onto this, it was like some very specific religion where common sense couldn't intervene. I started to broach the topic of how unfair affirmative action is. I've always been a big advocate of fairness. I support everybody being able to become and achieve anything they have the effort and will and determination to achieve while not being denied. And this chick said to me, well, human, it's because we need to make up, and we have to keep making up for the hundreds and thousands of years that women were kept behind. And I said, but it's not fair now. Now, if you want the respect of men and, women and men to work together, you can't keep treating men unfairly now and then scratching your head and wondering,
well, what's wrong with men? They're just paying back what's been owed for thousands of years.
But the generation of men that have grown up now in modernity, understanding what bigotry and unfairness is, they want to work fairly. They want to work hand in hand with you. For me, I don't think I'll ever be able to get along with someone unless we don't talk about these important human, fair, social topics, unless we just stick to banal topics like the weather and what's your favorite cheese. But when we're talking about fairness and equality between people, I'll never understand that those that shout so loudly for wanting that kind of fairness are very, very happy to let others go without treating, conveniently enough, their group preferentially in the name of fairness. One statement that just irritates me to no end is,
there's always such a long way to go.
Apparently there's always a long way to go. And that's the beauty of that statement. You never get there. No matter that women are more than 60% at university, no matter the affirmative action hiring practices in business that they're forced to play by these stupid rules, no matter what concessions they're given, no matter that women still expect to retain the old-fashioned sort of dating rules where men pay for them and men are supposed to earn more than them, otherwise they just don't pick them, they don't marry them, they don't find them somehow attractive. I don't know why the female CEO says,
I just don't find garbage collectors or men who work at the supermarket that attractive.
And because a lot of women keep denying really how they feel about financial security attached to a guy, they will always look to a guy who makes at least as much as them. That's the baseline, at least as much as them. Not below him, she doesn't feel safe and secure with him. So he has to make at least as much as her, if not more. Then she feels very comfortable and very secure. Women keep denying this biological predilection they have, where what they find attractive is a rich, powerful, secure man, not necessarily because of the money, because it makes her feel safe and secure. If women are given all these preferences to earn more and more and more, I think society expects men to just keep trying to out-earn women to be able to marry some of these upward branching females. But I would like to offer to guys, don't listen to these women that keep saying, even though you're being sympathetic to female causes and you believe in fairness, when they ask you to agree with giving more concessions to them, giving them more than you have, because supposedly they say, oh, you've already got a lot because of your history and heritage, where you can't do anything about how you were born, where you were born, other than to play fair with others and not to be walked all over and used. You want to be treated fairly. Anyone with half a brain wants to be treated fairly. I don't want people taking... Guys are always frustrated with how much women expect from them in relationships, much more than they're willing to give. Now, this extension out in society where women now are dating society at large and the government is their husband or their boyfriend, where they expect all of society to date them and listen to all of their complaining, where it's never good enough, nag, 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 always a long way to go. Society can't afford to keep giving more and more until there's like nothing left in the wallet anymore. Modern women complain that men don't do their fair share of work today, but we've made so much technologically easier for women. You've got dishwashers, you've got washing machines. It's as simple as pressing a button. You've got vacuum cleaners. And there's nothing wrong with helping out your partner. But it seems like no matter how much easier you make the modern woman's life, she'll keep complaining for it to be made even easier and even easier. And the easier a woman's life gets, you start to see that she contributes far less. And I'm not saying in general to society, but in every sort of facet. You look in relationships today, women don't want to give much at all, barely anything, and they think most men should be grateful for women just turning up. About the only physical thing it seems like she may need to do with some exertion is vacuuming. You still have to walk around and vacuum instead of sweep. But everything else, like washing the clothes, you don't have to take the clothes down to the river and smash them against rocks. Washing dishes was never that hard anyway, but now you can just chuck them in the dishwasher. It seems that the easier we make women's lives, it doesn't free them up to actually be more benevolent and contribute more and play fair and offer something. It's kind of just to make their lives easier so they can do less or get more from relationships than they're giving. I don't know. You want to talk about privilege? It's not this color. It's female. That's what the privilege today is. Even if we could somehow, say through technology, even if we could extend women's fertile years past their 30s, say a woman could wait till her 70s or nearly 80 before she really needed to pop out kids, otherwise there was no chance. It doesn't matter how much more we give these complaining girl power chicks. It doesn't matter. Because you know what they do? They do the same that they're doing now. Instead of partying in their 20s and then only starting to think, well, biologically time's running out, I can feel it, 90% of my eggs are gone, I better find a man to settle down with and try and pop out a kid that's healthy, I hope, in my 30s. Women would do the same thing, except now they wouldn't just party in their 20s, they party in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and then in their 70s to 75, then they'd say, okay, now I better get serious. So it doesn't matter what concessions you give these women who are constantly complaining, they'll always say there's a long way to go. They'll say it's never good enough. They'll say you got to keep going, you got to keep trying. Guys have to earn more. So it never ends. So even if we extended women's options into their autumn and winter years, women would wait until the last minute. Many modern women out there seem to be that person that crams for the exam the day before instead of studying and preparing months and months before. Anyway, I just wanted to express that after I saw yet another article on the internet where it started, there's still a long way to go, followed by a lot of similar complaining, how they have to be given more concessions, more protection, more financial help, all the while wanting men to disappear from the picture. Oh, but only if they're there to help provide and protect, but not as their husbands or men. Just, it never ends. And this is what I would caution guys. You meet any girl on a date and she's complaining about how much is owed to her, start asking about her life, what she does, what she contributes. Does she have a hobby? Does she produce something? What has she done for herself? Or is she the typical lazy person today that if everything was fixed, then they would be hardworking? I just have very little patience for people that won't give a crumb of effort or will, but expect the world and everyone else to give it for them, and doubly so. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Support the channel any way you can if you appreciate my videos and share them with someone you might think might enjoy them. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.